Priti Patel tells Brits not to attend any more Sarah Everard vigils as she backs police. The Home Secretary urged people not to attend large gatherings and said she stood by police despite anger about the way police handled a vigil on Saturday night. Priti Patel has told Brits not to attend any more vigils or protests for Sarah Everard despite a furious backlash to how police handled a vigil on Saturday night. The Home Secretary urged people not to participate in large gatherings, after protesters called for further action in the wake of the 33-year-old's suspected murder. She said scenes from Saturday's vigil were distressing and upsetting but added, "I continue to urge everyone for as long as these coronavirus regulations are in place not to participate in large gatherings or attend protests. The right to protest is the cornerstone of our democracy, but the government's duty remains to prevent more lives being lost during this pandemic." Ms. Patel admitted she had been in touch with Met Police Commissioner Sarah on Friday and throughout the weekend, and they had extensive discussions in terms of planning and preparation for the vigil. But she insisted police were operationally independent. Despite calls for the commissioner to resign over the handling of a vigil in Sarah's memory, Ms. Patel said she backed police. And after Boris Johnson's spokesman refused to say if he thought Kate Middleton broke lockdown laws by laying flowers on Clapham Common, Ms. Patel appeared to back her. She told MPs, "On Friday my views were known. They were based on the fact that people who wanted to pay tribute, obviously within the locality, bear in mind we are in a pandemic. That people who live locally, clearly who were either out on a daily basis, passing through, laying flowers is absolutely the right thing to do, and we saw many people doing that." The Home Secretary told Parliament, "This government backs our police in fighting crime and keeping the public safe. But in the interests of providing greater assurance, and ensuring public confidence, I have asked Inspectorate of Constabulary to conduct a full independent lessons learned review." Meanwhile, she revealed a government survey on violence against women and girls has had 78,000 responses since 6 p.m. on Friday, compared to 18,000 for its entire history previously. Ms. Patel said the impact of Ms. Everard's case could be summarized in 4 words: she was just walking home. And while it was thankfully uncommon, she said, it reminded women everywhere of the steps we take each day without a second thought to keep ourselves safe. Ms. Patel said the case had rightly triggered anger from women about the behavior of predatory men, adding, "Accounts shared online in the wake of Sarah's disappearance are so powerful because every single one of us can relate to them. Too many of us have walked home from school or work alone only to hear footsteps uncomfortably close behind us. Too many of us have pretended to be on the phone to a friend to scare someone off. Too many of us have clutched our keys in our fist in case we need to defend ourselves, and that is not okay. Women and girls must feel safe whilst walking our streets, that is why we have continued to take action." But Labour MP Bel Ribeiro, who represented Sarah, said, "It is bitterly ironic that an event intended to highlight the issue of public safety for women was blocked on the grounds of public safety." She added, "What happened this weekend is a reminder of what happens when the police try to completely bypass the views of the community they serve." Lib Dem leader Ed Davey added, "The scenes of women being forced to the ground, restrained and arrested simply for holding a peaceful vigil in memory of Sarah Everard and in condemnation of violence against women and girls, were utterly disgraceful. Of course the Met Commissioner Sarah must resign, but can I ask the Home Secretary what personal responsibility she herself has for the terrible handling of this peaceful vigil?" Serving Police Constable Wayne Cousins, 48, was charged on Friday with kidnapping and killing Ms. Everard, who went missing while walking home from a friend's flat in South London on March 3. He is being held in custody and will appear at the Old Bailey on Tuesday. There was anger on Saturday as police officers removed women at Clapham Common's bandstand for a vigil for the 33-year-old marketing executive. Patsy Stevenson, who was pictured being pinned down by police on Saturday night, had called for people to meet in Parliament Square tonight. But an account appearing to be hers later tweeted, "I am not going to Parliament Square tomorrow and do not encourage it." Addressing the policing on Saturday night, Ms. Patel said, "I have already said that some of the footage circulating online of Clapham Common is upsetting. So while the police are rightly operationally independent, I asked the Metropolitan Police for a report into what had happened.